Hello there gang, Devere here with another Past Blast, in which we're playing a little bit of Cold Fear, a survival horror that was developed by Darkworks and published by Ubisoft all the way back in 2005. So let's dive on in, shall we? So, settings, your control options. For starters, you've got completely rebindable controls. You can also set up a controller or a joystick here. It's a little bit manky in game, as we shall discuss once we get in there. So back here. So your mouse sensitivity as such as just there. Some sound configurations. That's about right. Screen configs. Now this, I've got a widescreen fix applied to this, and as usual I will pop the link to that in the comments section below, or in the description just down below there. So very limited. I've left the brightness and contrast up so that it makes the video watchable, otherwise this game could be very dark. So that's actually a lot really. So let's dive on in with a new game, and what I shall do is I shall cut the introduction and jump straight in. You've got the 3 levels in the extreme mode has to be unlocked, but for now I'll just play on normal, so I'll see you guys in game.
Okay people, you know your assignments. Hansen, you've got main deck port side. Watch yourself, you're going solo. How come Hansen gets all the fun? Because he's prettier than you are, DeSantos. Now cut the chatter. This place is creeping me out. Where is everyone? Steady, Friedman. Remember, I've got that extraction code in case things get hairy.
Boarding party, this is the Ravenswood. The seas are too rough. We're gonna have to head back. You're on your own, people.
You heard the man. Keep it tight. Hey, Walker, did you hear that? Hear what? What's that smell? These old Russian whalers all stink to high heaven. What's that? Open fire! Open fire! Holy shit! Ah! I'm falling back! Reform on my position! I repeat, reform here!
Lieutenant Lansing, come in, come in!
So you're probably getting a bit of a Resident Evil vibe, and you'd be correct, it's very much inspired by Resident Evil, but with a nautical bent. So we find notes as such, which I won't worry about reading. And it's all very third person with fixed camera angles. Now that's one of the very first issues, is the controls in this game. It's also nice though the way your character leans against the roll of the ship, the animations, but so at the moment I'm basically in sort of like your free wander mode. Wassad is controlling me. I also have, if I right click into aim mode, I get my flashlight and my red dot sight. If I press shift, I now sort of move the mouse around, I now get a sort of locked free movement mode. But again, you see the camera is relative because it is a fixed camera angle. So it's very it's a very strange control scheme. And with the with the controller, I did set up my controller to try it. However, that makes it, because the Xbox 360 controller, you can't set the you can set a trigger for aim, you can't set it for fire, so you have to have the fire button on your control pad, which makes manoeuvring around very awkward. Let's just say that. As you can't, you have to keep reaching across to push a button. Look, that's the seed battling me there. I'm not bad at him. Oh, I mistimed that totally. Wow, what the... This is a great start. I'm getting absolutely hammered, by the way. I'm supposed to time it with the waves going in and out there. Yeah, so it makes controlling with the with a Xbox controller, at least, makes it very...
Russian boats aren't exactly built the same way. I better read the inscriptions so that I don't get lost. Let's see how much of my Russian I still remember.
Yeah, it does make trying to fight and manoeuvre very awkward.
Эй, осторожно! Один из них за углом! Черт, черт, черт!
Why is it no one's ever pleased to see me? So here's sort of... Now you see there's a barrel up there. This is one of the sort of more interesting parts of this game. You can go for environmental kills. If I kill them with that barrel, their bodies will be burned and I won't be able to get any, ammunition off them. If I just go for the shots, I should be able to recover items from their bodies. There's quite a few places like that in the game where you can choose an environmental kill over...
This valve must control the sprinkler system.
Yeah. Sometimes getting lined up with the hot boxes. You have to wait till that little interaction becomes highlighted down at the bottom there. Once that's highlighted, then you can interact with things. Yeah, because what we want to do is flood a ship. So yeah, definitely this is a... It's very easy to lose track of where that red dot site is. Although, you know, this is compared to, you know, in fact you can move around and strafe still, compared to Resident Evil games of the time. Oh yeah, the health pack on him, handy. But yeah, it does sort of become cumbersome if I aim off. The camera now flicks back to the fixed one. So it would have been better if this was your default mode, and then you maybe switched into the fixed camera with a toggle button. Definitely made things a lot easier. As it is. So that's the first problem. The second problem is the saving. We'll see that more in action very shortly. Well, I've just had a health kit, so I don't need anything there. So, yes, it's a very strange checkpoint-based save system. There's no actual way of saving at the moment. Yes. So if I... is this one I've just been in? Especially at moments like this when the lights go out, it can be very disorientating. Fist ammo, I probably didn't really need all that. But yes, the checkpoints are oddly placed at times. There's no in-game saving. So if I die now, I would have to redo absolutely everything. You usually get them when there's something like a checkpoint or just before a battle, an action or a boss or anything like that. I don't know about electrical boxes. You see what that's about when you get down here. So that electrical box at the end, if I shot it like that other one I shot earlier on, that would now turn this water into an electrical death trap. Depending on the roll of the ship. If it rolls into the electrical box, it makes the water electric. So lots of nice little touches like that.
There's too much water pressure. I can't open the door.
You can't sprint in water. But yeah, if there was enemies in here, then you could use the electricity to kill them, and then time your runs to make sure you don't get killed by electric yourself. So there's some quite nice little touches here that you don't get in Resident Evil. It's not, you don't just have to shoot your way through. But with the odd save system as well. It's also because of where sometimes they're placed.
Great, it's locked.
You could end up going all the way around, not getting a save point, get killed, and that's it. Tough luck. You'd have to go all the way back. Come on, it was just highlighted. Oh, it's just ammunition. Whereas sometimes if you go a different direction, you'll get a lot of checkpoints in quick.
It's unlocked.
In quick succession. Of course, the other downside is if the phone went now and I had to go and do something separate, you know, so to answer the phone, I did no way of leaving the game until I find a checkpoint. So yeah, that's it's got a lot of rough edges, basically.
What the hell is that?
It's a dead person, I guess. Oh, hello. It's easy to get yourself turned round by accident and pull your gun out the wrong direction. I mean, the graphics for 2005 are still pretty decent. The animations are relatively smooth. You know, it's The audio is very good and effective, although the couple of limited audio tracks does get a little bit limiting, in all honesty. Oh, there we go. The real problem with combat, well, we'll see that very shortly. You sort of aim off. Oh, hello, somebody here. Anything for me? Pistol ammo. Nothing. Damn. Which way was I going? Must have come off. Oh, yeah, there's a door over there. Yeah, it's just a pity they didn't go for a sort of over the camera sort of the default sort of thing. It's got some interesting little, interesting horror vibes going on. Well, that's the other side of that fire now. Let's say it's intriguing, it's an interesting enough little setting. Somebody's shooting at me. There he is. Oh, no. Yeah, I forgot about that. You can actually fall off a lot of things in this game, including the side of the ship. It doesn't hold you in. So it's got sort of like, because of the saving system and that, it's got some quite rogue-like pretensions. What must be downstairs? Not the person shooting at us, that's for sure. Ow. There he is. Did I get him? No. It's very easy to lose track of where you are in there. Don't shoot the barrel, I want his bullets. For some reason we can't have this SMG he was just shooting at us with. Which is a bit of a swizz. More pistol ammo. It doesn't look bad, really. It's certainly got a good vibe going on. Shtaboy! Righto now. So yeah, you've got to be very careful about falling off the side there, those sort of kind of things. Yes, there's a lot of like roguelike. But the save system does make it a bit frustrating. I mean, obviously the idea is to make the game more tense, which it does, in fairness.
Oh man. At least I found the code.
Yeah, definitely 1/3 of your battles in this game is the controls and the cameras. Well, the cameras so much. The controls themselves are fine. The performance-wise is fine. And there's our basic zombie mob type thing, the XLs or whatever. Right, let's quickly melee him. See if I can knock him down and try and go for a headshot on the ground. Yeah, XLs or incels, something like that they're called. Basically, it's all very Resident Evil. They're basically zombies. Putting into you, don't want you coming around and interfering with my plans. Well, that's to do something you and all. Nothing can be done for you anyway. And the story itself is pretty predictable. Nothing too outstanding. It's all told via the gift mostly of notes. See here, so now I've got a save point, which means something epic's about to happen. Overwrite that save. But I have no idea when the next one. So now this isn't actually a cutscene. You can actually right, I want to try and keep him alive because something about the environmental stuff. Oh, I didn't go right. So let's go for the barrel and try and destroy them. Double quick with their bodies to get any. Oh, he's all burned as well. Yeah, so it's got a lot to be said for it. Oh, hello, talking about that. Quick F. It's action. Up. I forgot about that bit. In there. Yeah, so it's definitely got a lot of interesting touches to it. Oh, hello. You see, when they're running towards you, it can be very. You tend to, even though you feel like you're aiming at them, you need to kind of aim off to the left a little bit more. Oh, quick before he's good, got extra pistol ammo. Yeah, you need to sort of find yourself aiming off a little bit more than you would expect to. There we go. See if it's just aimed off a little bit instead. Right, drop dead. Nothing. That's a shame. So we're getting a little bit low on. Well, not a little bit low on pistol ammo. Right, he looks a bit dodgy. Oh, come on, that was a headshot. Especially the way they sort of run in at you is quite off-putting. Because of the camera angle again. It does throw your aim off a tad. Right, we'll pop Bjorn into you just to make sure. I haven't got it. Oh, what the? Where did he come from? Right, let's melee him. Keep forgetting you can only melee in either the... Yeah, you can only melee with your right click or if your shift button down. Now I can melee with action. Right, so what did we come in here for? You said it was downstairs. I'm assuming this was where we were supposed to go. What are we after? Oh, find a radio room. Alright, so yeah, this is clearly not a radio room. So it'll be there. I'll tell you what, gang, we'll probably conclude our dealings here anyway. Because you've seen a good point of it. Obviously, as the game goes on, you get some more challenging enemy types later on as well. So all in all, yeah, this is a pretty decent little survival horror of its own sort. With definitely inspired by Resident Evil. With enough of its own touches with the different ways of killing enemies, environmental things. You say that even just there a few minutes ago, that wasn't actually a cutscene. I could still interact even though it looked like a cutscene. Little things like that, a lot of little touches. But just be warned that the save system especially can be quite punishing. Because if you go sort of looking around an area, you could end up almost getting to a save point, dying, and you've got to re-go again, and there's no manual save, so if you are interrupted halfway through or you have a power cut or something, tough luck once again, you've got to start all over. But the audio's good, the voice acting's fairly decent, plot, as I said, yeah, it's alright. It's fairly predictable, nothing too shocking. Just yeah, lots of nice little touches as its own game. It's a great show. I'm assuming it became a bit of a more of a cult classic, so unfortunately there was never a part 2, but yeah, I would have played a second part of this. It was good enough, I thought. So anyway, all, thanks for taking time to watch the video. As ever, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to let me know you're alive. And I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.